What's going on, everybody? So SoCal was a little bit busy this year, a little bit hectic, but a few things kind of like were really cool. And I didn't even know they were existing or something that was going to be an idea. But Fulgrim had already been out, but then there was a cable on the table. And this cable is actually going to be the upgrade cable for the Fulgrim. So it's made by Astral Acoustics, who of course partner with them to make the Fulgrim, and this is going to be an official upgrade cable. Like I said before, I wasn't able to listen to a whole bunch of stuff, but thank you to Music Tech, Leo, and Andrew. They hooked me up and they sent this out to me so I could actually do a review of said cable. Now, this is a prototype. This is a final tuning of the cable, but it is a pretty cool cable. So without much further ado, I will be doing a review today on the Fulgrim's upgrade cable made by Astral Acoustics, which is known as the Luna. So this is the Luna cable for the Alpha Omega Fulgrim. It's the upgrade cable that Astral Acoustics is coming out with. It should be around $1,500 and it's a silver cable. Now, I can show you it a little bit, but certain things are going to change because this is a prototype. So this is going to change and have a really cool design, and so will this. So you get the basic idea because it is a silver cable, so we'll be keeping this coloring. But again, this is not the final rendition, so this will change. But yeah, this is just a close-up of the prototype of the Astral Acoustics Luna cable, which is specifically made to be an upgrade cable for the Alpha Omega X Astral Acoustics Fulgrim. Alright, so this is going to be like a true fit and finish just because this is still a prototype cable, of course. Show off the Fulgrim, a very divisive design. I have learned from just being on the boards. It's a love. It's kind of like trifecta. People either love the look or hate the look. The sound, though, pretty much is an agreement that these are pretty awesome. All right, so this cable is a very comfortable cable. Haven't had any microphonics issues with it. Feels good behind the ears. Oh, had the Fulgrim fall out of my right ear. So no issues as far as comfort with it. Been able to do my wonderful test where able to wrap it up and it sits comfortably. So no issues with that. So pound for pound, even though this is a prototype and it's pretty much finalized, except of course this, it's a really good cable. All right, so how does the Luna cable differentiate itself from the standard cable that you get with Fulgrim? So with the standard cable, it is raw. Like, you're getting everything. Like, Fulgrim sitting there showing you how deep and how hard the bass can hit, how its mids are just wide layers, sounds really great, and the treble is just very nice, where you get all the sparkle in the air and the shimmer, and like cymbals sound great. Now, where Luna comes in is that I would say where you get all the rawness of Fulgrim with the original stock cable, this is refinement. This is the luxury cable in a sense, where it tightens the bass. The one thing that I truly love about Fulgrim is the texture of the bass. And I feel like with Luna, because it tightens the mid bass, you get more mid bass. It's more concentrated in a sense, but that just the texture that comes out, if you're listening to something like string bass or that hit with Playing God, it just kind of almost not elevates it, but it's different. Like, it's just, it hits a little bit harder, you feel it a little bit more, and it's just really super nice. So I like what it does with the bass. Even though I also like the rawness though with the original cable. So it's kind of one of those things, which ones do you want? Do you want tighter bass, or do you want kind of like, and I wouldn't even call the bass of the original cable flabby, but you just get a little bit more tightness, but that texture you get on both of them. And that's, again, one of the things that I love about Fulgrim is if you're listening to like Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, and when that bass player kind of tickles that bass, you feel it. Like it's just an awesome feeling how it expresses the texture with bass. So with the mids I would say are a little bit more separated, a little bit more layering, a little bit more width, a little bit more depth. It just draws them more into focus, where I feel like because of the way the other cable is tuned, the original cable, it's a little bit more airy, but this kind of like micro focuses things. So they seem to come in sharper, especially like instruments, like if you're listening to something orchestral, or your even voices seem to be more focused in with the Luna cable, the upgrade cable. With the treble, I know some people have said that they feel like with the original cable that it's a little bit spicy. The treble can be spicy. So, of course, my favorite tune, Playing God. I would say there's more refinement with the Luna cable in the treble, where it's maybe not as splashy, maybe not as bright, maybe not as hard hitting in a sense. It kind of smooths it out a little bit, where it's just very, very nice. You still get the great extension. You still get the texture of the treble, like you can still feel the cymbals being hit, but it's just more refinement in it, where the original is a raw, more raucous type of engagement. And what did I do? I also did some Manukatu with all the cymbal play, some Yellow Jackets, but what I found fun about the Fulgrim is that the texture of the bass is so intoxicating, it makes you want to listen to a lot of things. Like, and it's just not just a bass set, so it's not just like, EDM or rap and stuff like that, but it's fun listening to it, like the textures of the cello when you're listening to some beautiful cello music, things like that. And that's what really, it just brings out the way that cello sounds. So that would be like the big main differences, I believe, between the two cables. Go Go Penguin, especially their new album, is really fun too, especially with the Luna cable, because when he's playing that, it's just so much texture, the feeling of it, it just comes across. And again, not saying that the original cable is bad when it comes to that, but with that little extra bass tightness, it feels like the bass is in the room with you and you can feel it, and it's an awesome experience. So to sum this up, it just depends on how you want your Fulgrim, and it's actually really cool to have the upgrade cable, which I didn't know was going to happen or exist, because it kind of gives you two flavors of your Fulgrim. You can have the raw, going out to the party, it's my Aventador, going crazy, or you can have the refinement of, oh, it's time for my Rolls Royce and I want a steak, and da 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 da. And it gives you two different kind of flavors of the Fulgrim. So I think it really does a good job, and just subtly pulling back a little bit and refining the things that make Fulgrim, but it doesn't make it less of a Fulgrim. It just makes it a more refined, civilized Fulgrim. So, is the Luna cable a buy? Well, if you are happy with your Fulgrim, and you like the way it sounds, and you like that rawness and that edge, you're Gucci. If you have the Fulgrim and you feel like it's just a little bit too on edge, then that's where the Luna comes in. So that's a beautiful thing. You have choices on deciding on how you want your Fulgrim to sound. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I will see you in the next video.